Hello everybody and welcome to Staring at Rainbow Rocks. As you can probably tell, I really can't do this the same way that I would usually do a staring at because the movie's still in theaters, so I can't really show clips. There aren't really that many images that aren't from a cam rip, and cam rips are bad, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, so I got done watching Rainbow Rocks, and I have to say that this is how much better it is, right? I've said throughout all of the shorts and sneak peeks that have been handed out over the last several months that it's looking to be a lot better than the original Equestria Girls was, but that isn't too much of a thing. It's not too much of a thing because Equestria Girls. I tried reviewing Equestria Girls. I really did. And I lost that data, which would have meant that I would have to record everything again and probably watch the movie again. And I said no. You know what? That review analysis. I keep saying review, but it's really more analysis. That analysis is cancelled. But Rainbow Rocks, I think I could actually watch it again. I think I could. I think it stands. It stands. It's a very good movie, but I do have some issues with it. And this is an analysis, not a review, but yeah, that's basically it. It's a good movie. Go watch it. Even if you hated the first Equestria Girls, I'd say go watch it because it is good. It is worth it. Or just wait until it's on DVD or they show it on the hub, because they did say they were going to show it on the hub at some point. Basically, everything I'm about to say now isn't a spoiler because it's already been shown in the shorts. So the first almost 30 minutes of the movie is basically the shorts. There's very little new content there. So if you've seen the shorts, you've seen the first 20, 30 minutes of the movie, which I really don't like. I really, really don't like it. I thought that if they're going to show those shorts, those sneak peeks even, a sneak peek is a sneak peek, it's a peek. But when you release enough sneak peeks that you've given away just less than half the movie, it just kind of irritates me. So if you've seen those sneak peeks, then you've seen just under a half of the movie, which is bad. It is... But it does give me, I guess, free reign to really talk about it. So there is a little bit of spoilers if you haven't seen the sneak peeks, you're waiting to see the movie, or you just didn't care enough. But basically, the Rainbow Dash and Humane 5 and Sunset Shimmer, they all started a band, as you do in the shorts that were before, and they have the horse powers and they transform and all that cool shit, and Rainbow Dash is an asshole, and basically they're all in character. They're a lot more in character now, which I'd say was a little bit of a strength of the first movie, as in the characters weren't basically carbon copies of their main show forms. They weren't carbon copies. They didn't have the exact same development because they hadn't been friends. They hadn't met each other. They didn't have the same experiences. So they were more along the lines of their season 1 characterization, with a few small differences to make up for the fact that they can't do what they can do in the main show. The development here has shown that they have grown since the time that Twilight left and they started the band and all that. But the one issue is, I saw the shorts, the prequel shorts that showed them all getting their instruments and why they were in the band and all that, and it showed them the discovering that, they grow the ears and the tails and stuff. But if you didn't have that knowledge from the shorts, I think that may have hurt the understanding of what exactly was going on in that opening scene where they all play and they all transform. It's a little bit strange. Like I said, I've seen the shorts, so I understand it, but I don't know if someone who didn't watch the shorts can understand it. That is my main big issue. It's relying on external sources that not everyone might have seen. Other than that, I think the story of this movie with the sequel was so much better than the original. It was actually a fucking story, for one. It was actually a story. My one issue with the story, though, is that Twilight wasn't needed at all. She shows up, but then the story focuses more on everyone else and Sunset Shimmer. And meanwhile, Twilight's like writing in a notebook, trying to come up with a counterspell or a song, and the majority of the conflict is based around that she isn't musically inclined, which in of itself is weird because, you know, they sing in the show a lot. So I'm not quite sure where that came from, but I suppose it worked if you see the songs in the show as external to the story. You know what I mean? But other than really writing the counterspell, Twilight doesn't really have any plot significance. Most of the plot significance actually revolves around Sunset Shimmer, which I am fine with. Because if you look at my last staring at that wasn't the collab with Shadow Knight, I said that Sunset Shimmer, the way she's been portrayed in the sneak peeks and all that stuff, she is a very intriguing character now, and she has been much improved, and she's actually very good, and she has some nice moments with Twilight as well, where they realize that they aren't quite so different. And it is very nice to see these two characters that were basically complete enemies to start with, just roll it back and be like, yo, we're friends now, man. We friends. As villains, the Dazzlings are a lot better villains than Sunset was, which is very good because Sunset was a very generic bully character in the first movie. But, there's something about them. Like, 8chan or 4chan have been going on about the blue one, the Sonata, and how she's very lovably stupid. Very lovably stupid. And when I saw her in the sneak peeks, I thought, she's gonna turn to a good guy, isn't she? And like, oh, my mind just immediately raced to like the lowest common denominator, how they could fuck it up, and they didn't. They didn't actually. They're intriguing villains. They have motivations. Where they come from is a little bit foggy, but I guess I can write that off as in they are very mysterious and mythical creatures. Sirens. They're mythical creatures, and rules don't quite apply to them as they apply to other more mortal things. Throughout the movie as well, there are lots of little nods to stuff in the show, like references that people will get, but they're not intrusive. Like, you sort of have to be really tuned in to what these references are to catch them. For example, Great and Powerful Trixie, of course, is Great and Powerful Trixie, and she actually plays a nice role as a minion of the Dazzlings. I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, she's actually plays a really nice role, and she's kind of lampshaded in the way she acted as a magician, and which transfers over to her being a musician, and it's really rather nice. Yeah, Lyra and Bonbon shipping is basically canon, so you know, people over at our best ship on Reddit, you guys are basically correct now. Well done. You got a ship canonized in a movie in an alternate universe. And Octavia speaks! Octavia spoke. She had like one line, but it was really good. Like, and it's actually even like, it's actually, I couldn't quite hear it at the time because the audio in the theater was actually pretty shit, but it sounded a lot like the voice they used for her in the Ponyville Musicians YouTube video, where she was like, vinyl, and she was very British, and it was very nice to hear, because we need more British people on the show. Yes, quite, by Jove, we do. And of course, you know, the Cutie Mark Crusaders were there, and they did their whole Cutie Mark Crusader band thing, and the way they handled Flash Sentry was very good as well, because he wasn't, basically. He appeared, and they touched on, like, Twilight having a bit of a crush on him, and he actually had a little bit of character, but for the most part, he was like, get the fuck out! No one cares about you, you are not part of the plot! Go away, nobody likes you! Which is actually very good, because I was afraid that he would be a major part. Really, Twilight wasn't needed. She wasn't needed at all. Literally, this could have been solved with only Sunset Shimmer, and that shows in the end, because Twilight doesn't really do much. It mostly revolves around Sunset Shimmer, her getting her redemption, and then at the end, Sunset Shimmer saves the day, basically. She comes in, and she just completely saves the day, and she basically becomes their Twilight. She basically becomes the Humane Five's Twilight, which is kind of nice. And they also set up this thing with Twilight came through with the mirror using basically Basically, she used science. She threw science at the mirror and then it worked, which is the weakest plot point of the movie, because it's literally, they set up in the first movie, oh, we can't open this we can't open this mirror for 3 years in between the times it's been opened. And then Twilight's like, fuck that shit! And then she basically throws science at it with a bit of Star Trek level technobabble, and basically she can open the portal whenever she wants now. It's a little bit, it's a little bit of a just rug pull. Like, I understand, like, working within the boundaries of the first movie, which was terrible, is kind of a handicap there, but, come on, you didn't need Twilight there. But at least this sets up a third movie, which, by the way, they did set up a third movie. If you go into the theaters, stay after the credits. There's an after-credit scene, like, on Marvel levels. And all I'm gonna say is, there is another Twilight. That's all I'm gonna say. There is a second Twilight. That's all I'm gonna say. And it is hype. It is hype! It's so much hype! Yes. So, all in all, Rainbow Rocks has been a very good movie. I was hyped for it. I was not disappointed. And it is very good. And I think you should go see it. And honestly, with this plot point that the portal is now basically open whenever Twilight wants it, and Twilight and Sunset Shimmer are actually in constant communications now. They have a way to communicate basically in real time. I really hope Sunset Shimmer comes through for Season 5. I really hope that at some point, like during Season 5, like for one episode or something, that she just pops her head through and shows up. Because the voice actress behind her is actually pretty talented. She, like, the voice actress for Sunset Shimmer also provides the singing voice for Twilight, right? But she also has to sing as Sunset Shimmer. So I was going through a movie and I'm like, well, since Sunset Shimmer can't sing because it's Twilight's singing voice, I guess Sunset isn't gonna be able to do any singing magic or anything. But then the voice actress for Sunset Shimmer starts singing as Sunset, and you can definitely tell that the voices are very similar. I mean, you can tell that Twilight and Sunset's voices are fairly similar enough, like, if you listen for it, if you're tuned into that. But they're different enough, and they both sound very good, that they can do a duet very well. And I was surprised. I was like, yes, well done. Well done, person whose name I forget. Anyway, everybody, this has been my surface analysis of Rainbow Rocks. It's a very good movie, and I would say you go watch it. Go and watch it, please. Because it is super hype. They have totally learned from their mistakes. There's a few slow moments, but those are mostly at the start, and they were really just basically spoiled by the sneak peeks anyway. So if you thought the sneak peeks were good, then the rest of the movie totally delivers. The hype has been delivered upon. It is very good. It gets really weird when Twilight's involved in stuff, but she is basically pushed to the side because she really isn't necessary for the story, but it's kind of nice to have her there. And I guess that's mostly because you really can't have My Little Pony without Twilight Sparkle, because she is the protagonist. She's always been the protagonist. Which is part of the reason, she became the princess and all that stuff. She's the protagonist. She has to go. But I guess if they have her there, and this setup for Equestria Girls 3 is legitimate and it's going to be as hype as I think it's going to be hype, then I can forgive Twilight being just basically a vestigial thing. I can forgive it. Anyway, everybody, as always, I am Nozavix, and we have been doing a surface stare at Rainbow Rocks. Remember to like, comment, favorite, subscribe. If you have anything you want to suggest, be it game, movie, television show, anything, leave that down in the comments. I have some movie reviews I need to get to, but I have just been buried. I'm getting to those. Yeah, so those are still coming. Those are still coming. Dragons are coming, everybody. I'll just see you around, everybody. I'll see you around.